That's right. Couple Deutsche Bank folks who have been lending hundreds of millions of dollars to Trump and to the Trump organization down through the years absolutely destroyed this stupid left-wing New York socialist attack on Mr. Trump. Now, the brilliant Jonathan Turley is going to be here later toward the back end of the show, and he'll give his erudite analysis from a legal standpoint. But in non-legal terms, a number of Deutsche Bank employees, this is the story, they told the New York judge that they made millions of dollars from Mr. Trump's businesses and saw no fraud in the loans they approved. They told the judge that Trump repaid his loans with interest. There was never any concern that Trump defrauded the bank. And they unveiled a parade of emails going back years where the bankers heaped compliments and praise for the Trumps and their businesses. The banker's story goes all the way back to 2011. That's 12 years ago, regarding the renovation of the Doral Golf Club near Miami, Florida. That turned out to be a tremendous success story. The bankers also testified that Mr. Trump paid off his loans, frequently paid off his loans ahead of schedule. Indeed, the co-CEO of Deutsche Bank testified that the bank in 2013, in a meeting at Trump Tower, he suggested the bank could lend Mr. Trump even more money because Mr. Trump's creditworthiness was so strong. Now, this goofy Justice Engoron, with all his ties to the New York Democratic machine, barely listened to the crucial testimony of Mr. Trump's bank lenders. And that is too bad. But of course, in New York, as elsewhere nowadays during the Biden years, Republicans and conservatives are subjected to a two-tiered justice system. The charges against Mr. Trump concerning the allegation of inflated assets, alleged falsifying financial statements, insurance fraud, all that is a fabrication based on left-wing imaginations. This is just like the other charges against Trump in Washington and Florida and Georgia, which would seek to deny the former president his First Amendment rights to free speech, his right to express his own opinions. In this country, that right is not a crime. Also in this country, if your banker testifies that you paid up every loan on time or even before the loan came due, and that includes the interest payments, and there was no fraud, and the asset values are a matter of opinion, not science, the key point is paying back the loan with interest. If the bankers are saying this, then what are the prosecutors trying to do? Well, prosecutors, that's the Democratic prosecutors. They're trying to confiscate Mr. Trump's businesses and throw him in jail for 700 years. Anything to impoverish him and keep him out of the White House next November. That is what all this is about, including, just to go back again, the ludicrous $18 million asset valuation that the goofy New York judge believes Mar-a-Lago is worth. That judge in New York has become the laughingstock of real estate brokers in South Florida and around the country. That property, Mar-a-Lago, I was just there 2 weeks ago, that thing's probably worth $1 billion, not $18 million. Come back to this silly New York case. There is no victim. There is no fraud. There's no squealing bankers. There's no statute violation. There's no intent. There's no materiality. And there are no ill-gotten gains. In other words, as with all these trumped-up charges by the Democratic regime,